Hey guys, Jacqueline Fernandez here at the Alert Center. Thank you so much for joining me this Saturday. Now today does mark the 1-year anniversary of those Arbor Day tornadoes, that tornado outbreak that hit Nebraska and Iowa, and unfortunately this did result in one death out of Minden. Now today the town of Minden is mourning that death, of course, and continuing to rebuild even 1 year later. Now here is one of several stories that we've been working on throughout the week. I'm sure if you've been watching First Alert 6 broadcasts, you've seen at least a few of them. This one, though, is from our Aaron Hartley. Welcome back. Our Storm Week coverage remembers a historic day in the metro. April 26th, 1 year ago, the small town of Minden, Iowa, nearly destroyed, leaving businesses, homeowners, and the community to start over from scratch, and one member of the community dead.
First Alert 6's Aaron Hartley gives us a closer look at how much progress has been made in a year and what still lies ahead.
April 26, 2024, a day that changed the town of Minden forever. Homes, businesses, completely flattened by a tornado. The home that once stood here was thrown into the street.
We lost all of our water, our sewer system, electric, and gas all got knocked out at the same time.
Leaving the 601 residents completely down for about a week.
So we lost well over 90% of our businesses. The count was 26 businesses in town, and we were down to like, I don't know, 4, 5.
Some of those lost are now slowly making a comeback. With 21 years in the books, Tim Service LLC is heavily relied upon by customers in town. Their walls of their auto repair shop barely standing a year ago.
I'm still in shock, I think. It's very traumatic.
Almost 1 year later to the date, Tim and his staff are getting ready to reopen their doors, this time across the street, in a brand new building more than double the square footage than the old building.
It's hard to decide on what you want to do. You're starting from scratch. You don't know what you want to do. You have to figure it out. You have to come up with a plan, stick to the plan, then the plan fails and you start over.
Just a few doors down, security cam footage captured the moments CNA Scales manufacturing building was ripped apart.
Real lucky and got a tent place in Council Bluffs that we could start moving our stuff to, and bought all new equipment to get back in production as soon as possible.
Clausen hopes to reopen by October, 18 months after the storm. Day to day for the past year, rebuilding has been these business owners' focus. Fortunately, both were able to keep all staff on board and with a paycheck.
I mean, most of these guys were welders, so now they were in cleaning stuff, moving stuff, doing, everything but their original job that they signed up for, and they did a great job.
A year later, a more positive outlook as community members have worked tirelessly to rebuild.
There's a lot of houses getting rebuilt, and people are starting to move back in, and the nice thing is, some of those homes were single-family homes or single-person homes, and now there's actually families moving in.
What happened here won't be forgotten, but the progress made is considered remarkable.
Everybody's been through so much, but we're fighting. We are Minden strong.
On your side, Aaron Hartley, First Alert 6.
Now
One year ago this week, more than 24 tornadoes tore through parts of eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. And then you see what's happening today as well.
Right.
Now, the strongest at that time was an EF4, and it decimated parts of the community.
Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord recaps the tornado's path and shows us just how much damage was left behind.
As we look back nearly a year ago from the Arbor Day tornadoes, one of the most notable tornadoes that was visible to a large portion of the area was the one that went through Elkhorn, Bennington area and up into Blair. And I want to do a little recap on just how this played out, a timeline of things. Around 3:30, it starts to form south of Highway 92 and lift to the northeast. And just east of the Platte River is where it formed. We had this video sent into us after the fact. We were able to see this. You can see all the vortices spinning around each other as it started to take its shape, and it did quite a bit of damage center and Highway 92 on the west edge of Douglas and up through parts of Sarpy County as well. And now it'll continue to lift to the northeast from there, make its way to basically just grazing the junk stock area. As it lifted to the north, there was damage there and kept going, and it formed into a little more defined tornado around the Ramblewood area. 3:45, about 15 minutes after it formed, it went through the Ramblewood area. That's where estimated winds of 170 miles per hour were later found in EF4 damage, making it the strongest tornado of this entire outbreak that day. And you can see this drone video from, well, 1 year later. You can see where some of the houses haven't been rebuilt. There's some in the process. There's a foundation, and then it just kept tracking off towards the north from there. So many places still in the process of rebuilding. As you move a little farther northeast, it went over the Bennington Lake area, narrowly missed Bennington to the west, and the videos from the Bennington area were just as impressive. And you can see the dark cone-shaped tornado there, and it was doing damage as it moved along and continued to progress towards the northeast. So as it moved northeast, it actually widened, and it got to its widest path just over a mile wide to the west of Highway 1, or Blair High Road, I should say. And you can see the trees that are still topped out in the area. There's groves of trees that are still haven't been taken down, and some of the houses that are being rebuilt as of right now through this area. So they'll continue. That continued to move to the northeast and passed over Highway 75, just grazing Blair on the south side before it eventually lifted around 4:30 just into western Iowa. So it was on the ground for nearly an hour. An EF rating after the fact of an EF4. Peak winds got to 170 miles per hour, and it was on the ground for over 31 miles as it went through quite a bit of the area, and it's going to be remembered for decades to come. From the First Alert 6 Weather Center, I'm Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord.
And again, just an incredible story, and it really just lays out the path of destruction, if you will, from our Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord there. Just the highs and lows and just how big these tornadoes can get, and the path of destruction is so far, as we all know. Now I wanted to show you this this shot with myself and the American flag. Here you can see it's at half staff today as the Pope is laid to rest this Saturday as well. Now today, as all of these communities in Nebraska and Iowa are continuing to commemorate these Arbor Day tornadoes, it's important to mention some events and a recovery survey that is happening today in the community. So Bethany Lutheran Church, they have a commemoration. This is in Elkhorn. It's from 5 to 4 today, so that is happening right now. Washington County Preparedness and Remembrance Fair, that is in Blair, that's happening now until 2 o'clock p.m. And then coming up in May, so May right around the corner there, May 5th through the 8th, this is when that recovery survey will take place. So a group of people are going to get together. They're going to be door knocking door to door to survey in Douglas and Washington County. And this is going to assess basically people's experiences dealing with certain aspects of the aftermath of these tornadoes. So with FEMA, insurance, economic struggles, and health. What was this experience like for you? The idea is that these people who are door knocking are going to, give you these surveys, get back the information, and then hopefully the next time, hopefully not soon, right? Knock on wood. The next time horrible tornadoes like this and the destruction comes around, they'll be able to take what information these homeowners, you yourself perhaps, provided them with, and improve disaster aid for families in the future. So clearly you can still see from this shot over my shoulder here, it is a beautiful day in the metro today. A bit windy out there. We want to take a quick look at the weekend weather, and then we do want to focus on a First Alert 6 weather day that is coming up on Monday. So let's take a live look now from our Blackstone camera as we take a look at the weather. So today, right now, the current temperature is about 55 degrees, mostly cloudy out there. And then let's see, we can expect some maybe spotty evening showers as we take a look into Sunday. Let's look at our Children's Nebraska cam for you. Traffic, let's take a closer look. Looks like some traffic out there, but not too bad during the afternoon hour. But as we get into Sunday, 70 degrees is the projected high, spotty thunderstorms. And let's see, about a 30% chance, and gosh, 77% humidity. So that one is going to be kind of hot out there. So not a lot of fun if you are trudging around, maybe you're doing some gardening, this kind of thing. And then, of course, we do want to prepare you for our First Alert 6 weather day. I do have this conveniently pulled up for you on our website. That's firstalert6.com. So this is the big alert day that we want to let you know about at this point. So at this point, our meteorologists they've been tracking the storm now for about a week, give or take. Strong thunderstorms starting midday through the afternoon. This is the latest update. I believe this is from, let's see if I can scroll up here. Yep, from the three of them, Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord, Meteorologist Jarrett Lansford, and Meteorologist Bo Fogel. So this is the very latest for you right now. They say there's a potential for all types of severe weather. And I do remember, here's the severe threats right here. So potential for all these types. Now, one thing that Bo did, that registered with me that Bo said last night during our First Alert 6 broadcast at 6:30, I believe, he did say now these are all severe threats at this point because they're just trying to cover their bases. They want to make sure that they don't leave anything out. So tornado, wind, and hail, all possibilities, but that doesn't mean that that will necessarily happen. So they're saying there's the potential there. Meantime, the best chance for severe storms will be roughly from the 11 a.m. hour to 5 p.m. That's the best chance. Again, this is a big window at this point, and as we get closer and closer to Monday, that number will likely be closing as well. I'll leave this as sort of a First Alert 6 web extra for you if you'd like to take a look at the severe weather risk in some detail and at your leisure. So you can always head to our website again for the very latest weather-wise, firstalert6.com. And I'll head to our homepage here and refresh the grid for you. These are the latest stories that we're working on. We do have this breaking news banner, so I will leave that as a web extra as well. Now, in the meantime, just want to say thank you so much for joining us at the Alert Center today. Hopefully you are marking this 1-year anniversary of the Arbor Day tornadoes with some remembrance and spending time with some family members and maybe helping out the community in one way or another. And you know, if you were affected, hopefully you've been making some strides as this 1-year anniversary continues today and comes to a close later tonight. Now, in the interim, please do stay tuned for our broadcast later today. And if you can, get outside, do your part, enjoy the sunshine while we have it, and make sure you're prepared for Monday, our next First Alert 6 weather day.